Welcome to another episode of FnB TV. Today I'm here with Eytan. He is the owner of the Phoenix Knife House in Scottsdale. It is off the corner of McDowell and Miller. And today we're going to talk to him a little bit about your background and how you did get started. And you do own the Phoenix Knife House. You were originally a cook in New York.
New York and Arizona. I cooked for about 10 years before I decided to retire. But I went to Scottsdale Culinary Institute here. Graduated in '99. Decided to move to New York for my externship.
Where'd you work
externship. I externed at Oriole.
Nice.
Yeah, stayed there for a little while. Then I went off to Kraft, Le Côte Basque, and New York Fiamma, which is what actually brought me back out here, was when they opened Scottsdale Fiamma. I've always had a passion for knives, and I had a pretty big collection by the time I stopped cooking.
Okay. So you decided that you were going to open up a shop and share that passion with everybody else?
Yeah, I felt there was a definite need here in Arizona. There wasn't anybody catering to professional cooks.
Not like there are in New York?
Not like in New York. There's a couple of really good knife stores out there. I got a little spoiled dealing with those knife shops, and then when I came out here, there was just nowhere to shop.
Right, the only place you could take your knife to sharpen is at a mall.
At the mall or at the housewife stores. What I carry here is I specialize in the Japanese knives.
Okay.
There's nothing really good.
And why Japanese?
There's nothing really good coming out of Germany or anywhere else anymore. Your most basic Japanese knife is already better than your best German knife. Variety of steels, weights, styles, handles. There's just a lot more to choose from.
If somebody were to walk in here and they want to buy 3 knives, what would you recommend?
First thing we do is find your primary knife, which is most likely going to be a chef knife. This is the 8-inch chef knife. It's pretty much the standard. They do get larger, they do get a little smaller. 8-inch is pretty much the universal all-purpose chef knife. This is you're going to do everything that's done on the cutting board. If you're rocking through the board, mincing stuff, slicing on the board.
It's the one to have.
This is the one to have.
That's the one I have.
The paring knife would be your second most important one. If the chef knife is for everything done on the cutting board, this is for everything done off the cutting board. So if you're going to core a tomato, if you're going to peel something, this is a great little knife to do.
Citrus season, so we definitely use a paring knife to be doing all the supremes.
Absolutely, great for supremes, great for citrus.
Okay. And then the last knife, the bread knife?
The last one would be your bread knife, probably your least used knife, but very important. A crusty bread is going to dull a chef knife. If you have a nice polished edge on it, it's just going to slide over. It might cut through it, but it's not going to cut anything else afterwards. So you need those teeth on it. It's basically just for cutting bread, and I use it if I'm doing some large fruit like melons, pineapple, which can be a little rough on your knife.
Well, I need one of these because I cut a lot of bread. I use my chef knife, and then I'm visiting you every couple of weeks. So
it keeps you coming back.
I might save myself some time if I had a bread knife, definitely. Okay, so let's see some sharpening.
Okay, so what I do.
All right.
Okay, so this is what I consider my craft. I'm a Waterstone sharpener. There's only a handful of us left in the U.S. There's nobody really doing it anymore. Waterstone sharpening is the best thing that you can do to your knife. Okay, I have a knife here which is completely dull. A knife cannot get any duller than this. I can try to saw through my hand. It's not going to do anything. If I grab some paper, it's not going to cut paper at all. Okay? It's about as dull as it can get. So I'm just going to go through your basic steps on how to sharpen a knife. These are all Waterstones. I'm just going to use water on it.
And what does the water do?
The water is a lubricant. It's going to cool it down. It's going to help float the grit when the metal comes off. Real time, this is what it looks like. Again, this was just to grind the primary edge. I'm going to start with my 400 grit.
And when you say you're doing a Japanese style, who taught you how to do this?
There's a Japanese master knife sharpener in New York who I just used to go and watch. He didn't teach me, but I learned by watching him.
Okay.
And yeah, just a lot of practice, just a lot of years of practice. Once you've raised the burr on both sides, then you need to remove the burr. So then I do switch styles to the European style, but I do trailing strokes. And
the European style of sharpening.
European style of sharpening. And I'm just going to do trailing strokes at the same angle until I remove that burr. This is your medium grit stone. And I'm going to go through the same process. It's going to be a lot quicker because I already have my edge on it. I'm not going to...
This is where the sharpening is actually happening.
This is where the sharpening happens. And I'm just going to take off the scratches or left over from the last stone. And I'm using the same angles, same technique. Once I deburr it, I'll show you what it can do. So this is definitely a usable edge, but it's not quite as sharp as it can be. If I take it to a piece of paper, it's going to slice it, but it's still going to make, this is too noisy for me right now. Okay, so I definitely want to refine the edge. It still might have a little bit of a burr on it. I'm not really concerned because I'm going to go up to the polishing stone right now. Back to the same technique, but if you notice, it's going to make much, much less noise. So the finer the grit, you can just see it and you can hear that it's fine. It's going to give you that nice polish on your knife. I'm going to take it up one more step, and I'm going to use a leather strop, which is almost like a barber strap, and this is just going to give it that final polish. This is really just a final touch. Okay. Now, if I take the paper, it's going to slice it much more cleanly, and if I take it to my arm now, I can actually shave the hairs off.
Yes,
okay.
Which you just did.
So, which I just did.
Okay.
So this will absolutely slice any food that you need to slice right now.
All right. Well, thanks so much for having us come in and check out your place and your passion and your craft, and we really appreciate it, definitely. And if you have any questions about knives and or need them sharpened, definitely come down to see the Phoenix Knife House, and that's where Eytan will be, and he can help you out and you can pick his brain. It's located again at Miller and McDowell in Scottsdale, and let's go find that bread knife I need. Thank you.